Hey, I'm Jay Beershank. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to just open the discussion about something that I think is a really big and interesting opportunity. I got into this for the first time this year. I've known about it for a really long time, but I didn't understand it and I'd never actually gone in and done it until this year. And what that's going to be is talking about spot trading. I'm making this video because I think it's interesting to share opportunities with people. For example, I made a crypto video 2 weeks ago. If you would have watched that video and you would have maybe invested in something, you would have been up a good amount of money right now because the market's done well. And I'm not saying that I can predict things well, but I'm saying that I see things. I'm a guy that's, consistently taking opportunities as I see them and trying them out. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And crypto is one thing that's worked okay. And also this year I made more money doing spot trading really than anything else. And that's crazy because I'd never done that before and I never realized how accessible it was and how interesting it was and how profitable it can be with a small amount of money. And I also never understood how spot trading actually worked. And so this year I spot traded gold. Gold is doing remarkable numbers right now. It's worth more than it's ever been worth in history. Also, silver and copper are really, really interesting right now. I'm not actually in the market anymore because I'm trying to be responsible because I invested 90% of my income in the past year and a half. And now I am trying my best to have savings for the first time ever, just to give myself some kind of, what's the word? Like a landing strip. What do you call that? Whatever, just like room to run, right? Giving myself room to run so I'm not in the market. But I look at the market and I think every day, like, man, maybe I should hop in there because the opportunity right now for trading gold, silver, and copper, I think is incredible. And if I would have had, gotten back into the market just like last month when I was just, because basically I got into this when I was sitting in machinery, when I was working in Australian mining. I was trying to figure out ways I could, be productive from my phone because I would sit in this machine for 12 hours a day. And so I got into spot trading, right? And so I would sit in my machine and I would spot trade, instead of doing other things that felt less productive. And I was sitting in there just before I had finished this job about 2 months ago. I was sitting in there and I was like, should I put $10,000 into a savings account or should I put, actually 10,000 francs? Should I put 10,000 francs in a savings account or 10,000 francs into a long on gold? If I would have put 10 grand into a long on gold, I don't mean, the way it works is really interesting because you make money each dollar it moves. You don't make money on the total value, if that makes sense. So you buy at a certain point, and then depending on how much you've bought, every dollar after that makes you a certain multiple. So each $1 movement up can make you $1, $10, $50, $100, just depends on how much you buy. With $10,000, I probably could have bought I had like 125 leverage. Leverage is also an interesting thing. And I guess I'm realizing now I'll make a video that goes more into spot trading, I guess, and the kind of things you can learn about it and how it actually works, because I don't think I'll have time right now to do that just because of the nature of the way this video is going. But anyway, if I would have invested that 10,000 francs in a gold, I would have done really well because it's gone up like 300 bucks since I was looking at it. And 300 bucks, let's say I'm making, 10 bucks off every movement, or whether I'm making 50 bucks, it could have been worth a good amount. But right now, as we speak, silver is doing insane trajectories. It's gone completely parabolic, and many people believe that copper will follow suit. So really interesting things to go and watch. What I would recommend and what I did to actually learn about how to do this, it may sound silly or cliche, but I'll pop up a guy right here. I watched this little trading course he had. It's like 10 videos. And regardless of what you think about the individual who is giving the course here, it gave me enough understanding and enough technique to actually go and try doing it myself. And once I tried doing it myself, I learned quickly and I was able to start making money. And, I started with $1,000 and I quickly grew this to pretty high multiples. So you can make a lot of money off a small amount of money. Just because of the nature of how trading works, you can trade as many times as you want in a week because it's closed on the weekends. So it's really accessible because you can do it from your phone. I did it with an app called MetaTrader. I'll pop up some of my trades and kind of how that works in MetaTrader here just so you can get into it. But really, if you go and you watch that course from the guy I posted about kind of the technical analysis and understanding how to get into the trades, which you can or cannot understand, because right now I would recommend maybe just looking at where they're going and then being able to have risk management enough to, once you make some money by longing it, or probably shouldn't try to short it right now because you might not know when it's going to actually go down. But anyway, I'm just kind of saying, figure it out and see if you can get into the market with a small amount of money, and then you'll kind of see the returns and then maybe be more interested in learning more. But if you go check out this course and you learn the technical analysis of it, and then you go and you get the app and you start trying, you'll learn really quickly on your own once you start kind of putting in trades and just spending more time zoned in on the charts. I spent so much time zoned in on the charts just because I was sitting in my machine watching them. And it can be really exhausting, and you probably shouldn't stare at charts all day. I wouldn't recommend that, but it's definitely, like anything else, more experience, more time in the books gives you more knowledge, right? So I would really recommend that if you're someone that is interested in kind of location independent income and ways that you can take some savings that you have and start, actively multiplying them or actively doing something with them instead of just letting them sit, I would really recommend you check out spot trading. I've shown a lot of people how to do this up in the mines because I was making more hourly with spot trading and daily than I was in the mining industry, and I was sharing this with some of the people who I worked with, so they wanted to see what I was doing and see how to do it. And I taught quite a few people how to do it, and they were all able to learn within a week or two and start making profitable trades. They weren't always profitable, but you can make a profitable trade. And that's really interesting when you can put in some money and then you click a few buttons and then you all of a sudden have more money. It's like, whoa, it just opens the doors of perception, right? To like, holy shit, this is something I can actually do to make money from my phone, which everybody dreams about. Everybody wants to make money from their phone. And a lot of that can be really mystifying and can also require attention and can also require customers. And this is a really interesting thing that literally only requires capital. If you bring capital to the table, you can multiply it. You can also lose it. I also lost some because that's the nature of the beast. It's not like you just put it in and there's 0% chance of losing. You'll quickly learn how you can also lose it. And that's part of risk management, and that's kind of part of also learning the game. I'm not trying to tell you it's a get-rich-quick scheme by any means, but it's a really interesting tool to have in your toolbox, especially if you happen to find yourself maybe doing something where you don't have a job, or you're traveling, or you're in a situation where you would like some extra cash, but you don't really know how to get a job right now. You can, do it on the side and just make a little something here and there. For example, like I had an idea I was going to go live in Nepal in a couple months. I might not do that now because my plans are changing. But anyway, I had this idea to go live in Nepal, and let's say my expenses were $50 a day. It'd be pretty easy with 10 grand in a trading account to make $50 a day. It would be actually really easy to make $50 a day. Incredibly easy. So just using it as a way to sustain your lifestyle, I think would have been really interesting for me to know about 10 years ago. Just because I've always been looking for things like this, and I never really realized how intuitive spot trading is. I never realized that it was so much different than investing. So yeah, I'll pop up that trading course. I'll also post my own kind of trading course ideas, like smaller scale, kind of like just like what I used as like risk management, what I used as leverage, what I think about leverage and all that kind of stuff. But it's all just tools. That's what I think about all of it. So if you want to know quickly, what does Jay think? It's all the tool, okay? And the worst thing to ever do when you're using a tool is to be afraid of it. That's what I've always said. I did a lot of chainsaw work. A couple years ago, I was using a chainsaw a lot. And I was with some people that were not used to chainsaws, and they're like, wow, you're not afraid of the chainsaw? And it's like, no, of course I'm not afraid of the chainsaw, because you want to know what? That's how you get cut. That's how you hurt yourself. When you're using this tool and you're afraid of it, you own it. You got to use it, like a man. It's a silly thing to say, but you got to be confident when you use it. Same with the leverage, or same with risk management. It's like, yeah, if you're afraid of what you're doing, your risk management plan can then turn into a complete tragedy. Or your leverage plan can, if you don't use leverage, if you're afraid of it, well, okay, you're leaving tools on the table, right? And sometimes that can be good because you can not hurt yourself. but also, you know, trying to drill a hole with your finger is going to take a really long time, and you might get more hurt trying to drill with your finger than just, you know, drilling and nicking your finger. But anyway, so I would really recommend you guys check out spot trading. Here's a video. And then I'd also really recommend you go check out some of the metals, gold, silver, and copper. I think that if you go and start spot trading these right now, within the next 1 to 3 months, you can make a lot of money, maybe even this year. Okay, so go check that out. Go try it. Start with a small amount of money. You can even start with fake accounts. This is what I did, and this is what I recommend everybody to do. Sorry, I just thought about this. On MetaTrader and on these trading apps, I recommend MetaTrader. It's the easiest one. You can open up a fake account with fake money. This is what I did, and I started with 10,000 fake dollars, and then I was, you know, making profitable trades on a consistent basis, and this gave me the confidence I needed to use real money. So go learn a little bit, go open up a demo account, you know, go trade, go lose some money, go make some profitable trades. Try to get it so you make more profitable trades than losses. And once you're at that point where you're making profitable trades and you feel like you have a little bit of an idea, throw in some real money and see what you can do, because it's a real opportunity. I'm telling you, as a real guy who tried it, and it's not BS. It's totally worth trying. So that's my little PSA about spot trading. Definitely worth trying it out, and definitely worth trying it out this year with the metals. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Don't forget to like and subscribe.